game without the two players whose absence has certainly contributed to that loss of form. Internationals Graham Sharp and Kevin Sheedy both still recovering from injuries. Wayne Clark, signed last week from Birmingham, makes his first home appearance. This is Sharp's replacement. Paul Power continues in midfield in place of Sheedy. And the battle of the goalkeeping giants is on. Everton's Neville Southall, currently in magnificent form. He's passed a late fitness test on an injured knee. At the other end, England's Peter Shilton hopes to underline his belief that he's still the league's #1 goalkeeper. He might well need to prove it. Southampton have been struggling lately, despite a 4-0 win over Leicester last week that they managed without their leading scorer Colin Clark. David Armstrong has joined him on the injury list, and Danny Wallace is out through suspension. But the old Liverpool warhorse Jimmy Case is back from a ban, and this young fellow is making a name for himself, if you can pronounce it, that is. Matthew Le Tissier comes from Guernsey and scored 3 times against Leicester. Today's referee is Howard King from Merthyr Tydfil. Southampton it is then who kick off in their red shirts with dark shorts. Everton, of course, in their familiar blue and white. And victory really essential for Everton today if they're to get back on championship course. They've beaten Southampton twice already this season. Once in the FA Cup here and in the league down at the Dell. And they also thrashed them here 6-1 in the league. Although in fairness, it has to be said, Peter Shilton wasn't in the Southampton side that day. Watson, challenged by Gordon Hobson. They've had quite a bit of readjusting to do with these injuries, Southampton. Gary Stevens. Stevens again. Rather ambitiously there in search of Adrian Heath. And Everton really do seem to have lost their way in the last few matches, and Howard Kendall anxious that they regain their true form today. Baker with the interception, getting his chance with Mark Dennis in dispute with the club, and Armstrong out through injury today. Watson's the target, right climbing above him. Stevens back in again, and safely claimed in by Peter Shilton. He had to drop out of the league game here with that 6-1 thrashing that his side took last season. Young Keith Granger stepped in and had a rather torrid afternoon. Forrest to Cockrell, given away though to Clark. There's Gary Stevens. Clark trying to get a flick on Heath. That was more like the Everton of old. Swift breakthrough. And Heath almost getting a decisive touch. And Shilton denying him, and a corner to Everton. But it could so nearly have been a goal. Power with the corner. Watson in the 6-yard area, didn't get that far. This is Peter Reid. Now Townsend. Quite a few of these Southampton players getting a chance to prove themselves today, with other more recognised players out of the reckoning. This is Kevin Ratcliffe, the Everton captain. Townsend. Hobson. Cockerell through, no offside, but Lawrence would have been, I think, if he'd gone for that one. Cockerell, who's been very influential for Southampton this season. But Tissier, who scored a spectacular goal last week, one of those 3 that he scored against Leicester. Jimmy Case, finding Le Tissier. Just 18 years old and a real prospect. This is Watson. Now then for Reid. Back at the Everton engine room after so many months on the sideline through injury, Peter Reid. And one of 3 or 4 players still fighting their way back to match fitness really in the Everton side. This is Hobson. Now Reed. Trevor Stephen. Bowled over him by Wright was Heath, and there's an altercation. Baker getting involved with Heath. Mark Wright was the first offender, and that's what the free kick's been given for, his challenge on Heath. Baker then got involved, and the referee had to sort it all out. So Everton had the free kick. No caution, but a word of warning, I'm sure, for Baker and for Heath. Stevens with the free kick. Shilton was stretching, and the corner given. It's always a dangerous-looking cross in from Gary Stevens, who curls those in delightfully. It'll be snowed in with the corner. Got Dave Watson positioned on the near post. Stephen, though, got the flick on. And Southampton struggling to get it away. As Everton look to turn this early pressure into a goal. No doubt at all, they've been missing Sheedy and Sharp. And I was talking to Howard Kendall beforehand. He said that really has been such a significant factor, the absence of two key players, and they've had to readjust without them and haven't really settled into their stride in recent matches. Now Heath finding Clark. To Stevens. Confident touch from Clark. Here's Heath. Peter Reid. Referee was in his way. Now Heath. Clark waiting in the middle. Came off right. And an own goal. Came off the head of Mark Wright. And then an off Shilton, who looks disgusted, and well he might. A bizarre goal that has given Everton the lead. It certainly came off Mark Wright. And then into the net off Peter Shilton. The two England men between them have given Everton the lead. And who would have thought it? It has to go down as an own goal. .5 minutes into the first half, and Everton, in somewhat strange circumstances, have taken the lead and put a goal past this man, Peter Shilton. Header from Case. Good tackling back by Cockrell, but no, the foul given. Gary Stevens. Just the encouragement that Everton needed after their recent bad run. And I wonder if they can build on it now, or will Southampton come back? Townsend. This is Hobson. Wriggling away from 2 or 3 challenges. There's George Lawrence battling away, and unfairly. Free kick to Everton. Vanden Howe to Ratcliffe. This is Watson. Right, not a very positive header away. Heath, has he got power in? He has! And Shilton again asking questions of his defenders in front of him, and will feel too perhaps that he should have got down to it anyway. It squeezed in at the near post. Lovely little ball played in to Paul Power. And his shot beating Shilton. And in the space of a couple of minutes, Everton have scored twice and surely now taken an early control of the game. 2-0 they lead. Paul Power with the second goal for Everton. Lawrence coming back for Southampton. Has he got the strength? No free kick. Protest from the Southampton players, but George Lawrence lost control and got nothing for his efforts. Well, Peter Shilton very much in the news now. 2 goals have gone past him, and certainly a question mark on both of them about Shilton and his defenders. Such a powerhouse in midfield. Stephen outside him. Reid has gone down again. Always seems to be in the wars, Peter Reid. He's such a competitive player. Townsend. Reid is back on his feet, but somewhat ruefully. Lawrence. Now then for Cockrell. Useful ball to Letitia. Beaten over by Power. Now Snowden. Ratcliffe. Trevor Stephen. Down towards Heath. Shilton had to be quick. Peter Reid is still off the field having treatment, and Alan Harper, the substitute, has been warming up. Peter Reid, who's had so many problems with injuries in recent years. Indeed, he's starting a game for only the 7th time this season. I wonder if he's going to finish it. With Alan Harper, the substitute, and Howard Kendall looking on anxiously. Baker. Hobson wriggled away from Stevens. Now can he finish it here? Southwell committed. Ratcliffe for the header out. Once or twice this afternoon, Southampton have shown that they have some useful ideas of their own. As Peter Reid returns to a tremendous ovation from the crowd. He's such a favourite here. Not quite sure what happened to his grey hair that he had recently. He must have dyed it, I think. Everton free kick. Got a very impressive record here at Goodison Park. They've lost only once in the league this season. Snowed in. Heath. Oh, Shilton with a great save and Clark couldn't turn it in. Rather came straight at Clark, but he'll feel he should have tucked it away. Heath, the marvellous header. What a save by Shilton. And Clark couldn't finish it off, and he'll be so disappointed with what would have been, of course, his first goal for Everton. Heath, beaten by Townsend, and this now is Mark Wright. Trying to find Lawrence. Watson in well. Cockrell. Shows some good touches in midfield, Cockrell. As the Everton fans show their frustration of all going all the way back to Neville Southall. Cockrell. Straight there to Power. Van Howe, as Everton looked to finish the half with a flourish. And Heath was certainly looking to bring down Kevin Bond. Adrian Heath, the offender. Time whistle, and Everton's half most certainly, but courtesy of 2 goals that Southampton will feel they should have prevented. Mark Wright first with the own goal that went in off Peter Shilton, and then Paul Power getting the second goal just a couple of minutes later with a shot that squeezed in between Shilton and the near post. Everton then start the second half, hoping for their first win since February the 7th, when they beat Coventry to go top of the First Division. They've not won since then. They've lost the leadership and gone out of 2 cup competitions. So you can see how keen they are to get back into a winning vein. There's Power. Well, the linesman's flagging. The players were wondering what had happened. A corner's been given. That was very nearly another goal to start the second half for Everton. They're sending Watson up to make a challenge on the corner kick. Vandenhouwe's header, and just too far for Paul Power. Peter Shilton, who got a tremendous reception from the Everton fans behind his goal, which reflects the man's popularity still throughout the country. Chris Nicholl on his feet, urging his players on and hoping that they can pull this game round, but it's looking a bit ominous for them at the moment. And Howard Kendall still with a furrowed brow and hoping his team can haul themselves back into championship contention. Southampton playing themselves into trouble, flags up for offside. Shilton denying Clark anyway. Southampton getting themselves in a terrible tangle at the back. Clark says, well, what did I do wrong? Peter Shilton won't be at all happy at what's going on ahead of him. Ratcliffe with an arm on Lawrence. Forrest. Snowden. Good turn. Stephen to Reed. Sweeping move by Everton. Stevens. And Baker for the corner. And that was more like the Everton that has thrilled this crowd so often over the past 3 years. And a delight to see when they're in full flow. Stevens. And it's there. And it's Watson. Dave Watson. With only his second goal in an Everton shirt. And a goal that Everton fully deserved. Shilton beating again. Almost 10 minutes into the second half, and Dave Watson has made it 3-0. And surely now put this game beyond Southampton's reach. Forrest. Away goes Hobson. But the signs are now that Everton are on their way back and ready to mount a serious challenge for the championship that seemed to be slipping away from them. Mark Wright. This is Snowden. Now Vandenhouwe. Good challenge by Forrest. Came from Rotherham a couple of seasons back, Jerry Forrest, and he's proved a very useful buy. Clark. Now Snowden. Still Snowden. Heath. Snowden going on. Flags up. Offside. A good run in by Snowden, who certainly made his mark on this game. And the 26,000 crowd have taken to Ian Snowden. taken games to settle, of course, as you expect of any new player, but he's really getting into his stride now. Heath. Away by Bond. This is Case. Townsend. Gary Stevens hoping to reclaim his England place in due course, having come back from injury. Stephen to Harper. Stephen finding power. Ratcliffe with Hobson. Not too many strikers get the better of Kevin Ratcliffe. He really has been such a consistent performer during Everton's rise of the recent years. Snowed in. Watson, who's had a good steady game at the back. Now Power. This is Clark. Brandon Howe trying to find Stephen. Here's Harper. A measured build-up from Everton. Did well. It was Clark who was on the end of it, and Power who got the run down the left there. The effort then from Clark. And Shilton just getting a touch. But again, an impressive approach play. Power got away down the left, and Clark with the shot, but Shilton touched over. Corner from Power. Harper. The lines were flagging. And the crowd afforded the pass from Harper. Offside. But what vision from Alan Harper. Harper, what a good tackle that was. Now Clark to Stevens. Well read by Case. Snowdin's header. And here's Clark. Finding Heath. Splendid pass. Now Heath. Shilton denying him. But again, set up by some astute work by Wayne Clark. Which very nearly got Heath in. This is Townsend. Now Cockerell. And the game in danger of just petering away now. Unless Everton can step up a gear in the last few minutes. Power. Useful ball into Heath. Oh, just past the post. Oh, his luck really isn't running for him at the moment. Adrian Heath into the penalty area, and his shot just past the post. Heath to Stephen. Cockerell rather lucky to get away with that, but he has. And here's Case. Now Letitia. This is Forrest. Snowden combining with Clark. Got power outside it. Still Clark. Going on his own. And the applause you can probably hear in the background will tell you how pleased the crowd have been with Wayne Clark's home debut for Everton. Widespread relief around Goodison Park. The Everton title challenge is back on the road, their first win in 6 games. Mark Wright, who put Everton unwittingly on their way with the own goal. Paul Power, who got the second. And it was Dave Watson who got the third in the second half.